Okay, 6-2, unit circle, trig of real numbers. This is the last day. Feels like we've been in this forever, but 6.2 video, day 6. In day 6 video, I am just going to simply practice some more with evaluating those trig functions without a calculator. I believe that you only have 2 problems left in your notes, and therefore I'm going to challenge you on these last 2. I'm going to challenge you and give you 2 additional problems as well. So 4 problems total for this video. Hopefully, A, you know your simple trig chart, B, you know your reference angles, and C, you know that table by now. Hopefully, you understand that table. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, you can see the 4 of them that you have there. I believe you only have the 2 of them, the top 2 in your notes. The bottom 2 I have added to our lovely video for today. But I want you to think about this. So, cosecant 510 degrees. All right, same deal. What quadrant is 510 degrees in? Well, 510 is in the second quadrant. Your simple trig chart. Think about it. A simple trig chart. Sine and its inverse, which is the cosecant, is positive in that quadrant. Everything else is negative, and therefore I know that this answer is going to be positive. Reference angle for 510 degrees is going to be 30 degrees. So I know that cosecant is the same thing as 1 over the sine because they are reciprocals of each other, right? I know sine is opposite over hypotenuse, therefore cosecant would be hypotenuse over opposite. So I know I could simply take the reciprocal and voila, I'd be able to get that answer. So from here, well, I know that the sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. So 1 divided by 1/2. Think about what that says. Instead of 1 divided by 1/2, I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal to get 2 over 1. So I know that this answer is positive 2. I want to show you, though, some people have been doing this a different way, and maybe this is going to help you understand this a little bit. Maybe if you say to yourself, all right, if you don't want to do, I'm thinking about if you don't want to do this math here and it's kind of confusing you with how I got that there, I want you to maybe think about it this way. The cosecant of 510, well, you know that the reference angle would be 30 degrees. So maybe what you can do is say, okay, I know that the sine of 30 degrees is equivalent to 1/2, and I know the cosecant is simply the reciprocal of that, and maybe that's how you'll get 2 over 1 a little bit faster. Let me back the train up and say that one more time. So think, cosecant of 510, your reference angle would be the cosecant of 30. Well, if I know the sine of 30 degrees is 1/2, if I take the reciprocal of 30 degrees, voila, that would be the cosecant. And therefore, maybe that's how you'll get your answer. I don't know, totally up to you. I'm going to show you how I wrote it in the video, but if it's going to make sense to just simply find the sine of 30 degrees, take the reciprocal, and voila, there's your cosecant, then you wouldn't have to go through all this mess that I did right there. I think you should probably try to do that. All right, last one that I'll do with you. The last 2 I'm going to zip right through. So I want you to think secant of 270 degrees. Well, first of all, where's 270? Well, 270 is right there. Guess what? I don't need to find a reference angle. I don't need to do any of that because I know that that's a quadrantal angle. And at that quadrantal angle, I know what that point is. I know it's the point 0, comma, negative 1. Well, I know the secant is the inverse of the cosine. So I know that the secant of 270 degrees is the same thing as 1 over the cosine of 270. I know the cosine is the x value at that point, so I know this is technically 1 divided by 0, which is undefined. Okay, so hopefully that went well. Let's see. I want you to, I don't know. I don't even know if you're going to be able to do this. Try the next two. Maybe pause your video here. See how far you can get. Who knows? Maybe you'll get it, and maybe I'll be very, very impressed if you do get them. All right. 7. Ready? First of all, quadrant. Second. Simple trig chart. Cotangent, negative. Cotangent is same thing as 1 over the tangent. Reference angle for negative 4 pi over 3 is pi over 3. So I know pi over 3 is root 3. Multiply by, right, we can't have square root in the denominator. So what I did is multiplied numerator and denominator by that to get negative root 3 over 3. And voila, there. Hopefully, let's see how I did. Last one. 13 pi over 4, obviously, is in the third quadrant. Reference angle, I think you got that. Secant is the same thing. A simple trig chart. Negative. Secant is the same thing as 1 over the cosine. Reference angle was pi over 4. Cosine of pi over 4 is root 2 over 2. Instead of dividing by a fraction, I know I can multiply by the reciprocal. That gives me that. I can't have a square root in the denominator, so I got to rationalize that. Looks like I can cancel those 2's out, and voila, negative root 2 is my answer. Hopefully, you are not completely lost right now, because, yeah, this is not, it's not terribly easy. But we'll talk about it, and we'll see how you do. Questions, comments, concerns. I'm guessing there might be a few. And, yeah. Good job.